Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Lisa Lucia Arden here on August the 12th, 2024. And I discussed these points earlier this month and throughout the years. But there is an extra point here about the immigration, about the way they're letting all the people in. My name is Lisa Lucia Arden. This is the news with Lisa Lucia Arden here in Arizona, USA, the beautiful USA, Arizona. And I wanted to say that the immigrants are all flooding in. Many millions and millions have come in, and we spend 60 billion on immigrants, and now it's probably more. Maybe it's 70 billion now, since the last time that number was a couple weeks ago now. And we only spent 6 billion on veterans, and we took away all the regular Americans that are homeless, and we put them on the streets. We're not figuring it out because there's a lot of homeless in Arizona, in every state. Up in Philadelphia, they put zombie drugs there. They want to destroy our original legacy. But the answer is, the immediate answer about the immigration is, we need to tax the billionaires that have dual citizenship in their country where the immigrants come, and where they have dual citizenship. So, for example, if they have citizenship in America and citizenship in Africa, and they're billionaires in America and they own properties and business, they need to help, whether they do tax deduction or build business or do sponsorship. That has to be a law. But most of all, if that idea doesn't pass, but most of all, these immigrants, the countries that they come from, we need to go to the leaders, and they need to pay us for these immigrants in our country. And if they don't have the money, we need to take their commodity, a portion of their commodity. We have ownership of it, ownership of their commodity, or lease land of their commodity that we can mine and we can do business. Or we get to buy land, we get to have land that we could do business with, and we could do what we need to do with it. That has to be a rule, because many of these countries, all these countries, are flourishing countries that have commodities. They have beautiful harvests. They have beautiful things. But many of these countries, they do not know how to do business. It hasn't evolved enough, or it has been destroyed because of communistic ideas. But they're there. So this has to be law. Otherwise, the immigrants have to go back, because these immigrants are being abused and used. And they'll have a continued genogram, 1 out of every 4. This has to be a rule and regulations. But because of the Democratic Party under Kamala and Biden, they are causing a lot of trouble for our country. And we need to pay our bills for our first immigrants. What about the dreamers? What about all the immigrants that weren't citizens yet before Biden came in, and Kamala, that been here for 5 or 10 years, that haven't gotten their citizenship? That's not fair. This is terrible. They should gone into legally like everyone else. I've gone to countries and I have to go in legally. We need to work together with their countries. I'll repeat, these immigrant countries, and their countries have to be taxed and have penalties for each immigrant. If they are poor countries, that something has to be shared, their property or commodities. They have to pay for the immigrants. They need to do this. What do you think? Will they become citizens? Well, they cannot become citizens until there's rules and regulations instilled. Remember, I told you there's a geopolitical powers now, and there's also 9 or 10 cartels, and there's also drugs, there's also technology and information systems, and rules and regulations haven't been made, and there's globalization, and there's intercultural assimilation, and there's easy travel because of the technology, and there's also the laws of the government. And then below, because this is the chart of the powers of paradigm, is the 8 or 9 cartels, and many of them stay in their own countries, but China has not. China's trying to destroy us. And then with fentanyl in all businesses that I've discussed before, and then also the world controls, and the elite communist billionaires that are hooked up with politicians such as Biden and Kamala that want to destroy our country. The way it's set up, it's not even a subjective idea that I have about the immigrants flowing in and what they did to our economy and our inflation and the lockdowns and all these things they did to our country, and not do anything about the pharmaceutical companies or the homeless or those who are in Philadelphia that they threw all those drugs in. They're not doing anything about these things. They're just making it worse and worse and worse. This is terrible. This is a danger to America. And I told you, under Dylan Joven, Behind the Markets, he tells us no other country in existence of time. And here, USA is the greatest country, monetarily still, that they have more debt than any other country in the history of time, just since Biden and Kamala has gotten in. And we have the worst safety ever in the history of time and of America, or any country. No country that's a top country lets all their borders open and anybody in. This is terrible. Germany doesn't do it. Saudi Arabia, Dubai, those are beautiful countries. China doesn't do it. Russia doesn't do it, correct? Brazil, they sold herself to China, remember. Castro, she's a woman, president woman, unfortunately a beautiful woman. She sold herself to China, and they have business together, and she should have gotten contracts. Otherwise, they're integrating communist ideas. It's terrible. And those contracts are not solid. They're not going to last. I already looked into it. Look into those poor Honduras people, and also Cuba. Look what China's in Cuba. I could go on and on. It's a very serious situation. We need to come together today and work together. We need to say, people make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Some are bigger than others, but our politicians can't make mistakes for a country that has so many vast people that they're responsible for in regards to the government. They made wrong decisions. There was a big mistake with the borders. There was a big mistake with not putting new laws for pharmaceuticals. There was a big mistake for the economy. There was of shutting down all the oils. And I believe the House and Congress should be responsible to work together to bring freedom and reconciliation. They should be penalized, especially the leaders, for these mistakes. You know how when you make mistakes on your business, you have a late fee. You have to pay a late fee. You have to pay fees for what you didn't deliver on the payment that you had. This is very, very serious. And that's what I heard of a brilliant man told me that, I won't name his name, that the House and Congress, under the leaders, especially the top leaders, have to be accountable to making a proper decision about the laws and regulations and how they deliver. And they've made our country into hell. It's the worst it's ever have been. And I told you all the reasons why people don't want to buy our bonds. The people don't want to buy the bonds because the dollar is not the petrodollar, meaning the dollar is not traded for the oil and all the commodities that they do internationally. The yuan is now. China, they do much of the trading with the yuan, okay? And China's currency. Did you know that? Look that up. Dylan Jovin, Jovine. It's French. He's American though. It's a French name. Behind the Markets, he tells us this. We need to wake up. But I told you about the BRICS a long time ago, that Jim Rickards made us aware a year ago. And BRICS is all the people coming together and trading the commodities in business, not with the petrodollar. So our dollar has gone down to, it could go down to 60%. Then the stock market is down. Then the houses are going to be worth less. And so the home equity of the house is very low. And they also have home equity loans. And many people will lose their houses because there's high unemployment, very, very high. I'm sorry, my last speech, I said that we want low unemployment. We want low unemployment. That's what we were hoping, because they spend so much money, because the big problem is they gave so much money for the checks, correct? They gave so much money for the checks, brothers and sisters, for the lockdowns that long. They shouldn't have done the lockdowns that long. They didn't have enough statistics to have lockdowns. So they were giving the checks to everybody all those period of time. I didn't receive a check, but I felt very uncomfortable because I knew it was the wrong decision, but they gave checks to the people, and that was one of the main. As Dylan Dyland Jovine behind the markets, and Jim Rickards and Altura, they all say it, and Tika, and all those people, they talk about this very, very serious situation. That was one of the main points also that destroyed our economy. So we need to come together. And who did this? Kamala and Biden. Under Kamala and Biden, and she had so many chances to do so many projects. Plus, we were giving monies and war tools to Hurricane, which we know that war does bring money, but who's going to pay for all those tools? Hurricane doesn't have money. We're giving them money, and we have to help Israel, and we also have to help protect our own borders. We have a war within our own countries, our own country, and this is very serious. So we're fighting so many wars, and let's say that, I'll repeat, Biden and Kamala, they couldn't control the war with Russia and Ukraine. They couldn't control the starting of it in Israel and Hamas, but they did that. Many people have said, many very, very wealthy-minded people of truth and honesty, and to put the American people first and people first, that they did this because they were easy bait because of what they did to Afghanistan, how they got out, $87 billion worth of military tools. We could have taken care of that $87 billion, correct, of military tools, and if we wanted to sell them to someone, but we have them. We could have helped the homeless. We could have helped our children and the people that needed to pay their rents not to lose their home. That's a lot of money, $87 billion. We could put it down to our debt and helped with our country. And many people died, not only their bodies, 13, how many of our military, but the death of their life in Afghanistan, and all the women and children there are abused. And all those years we try to keep Afghanistan afloat. They went out wrong. We know this. Even a kindergarten understands that. And so that's what many believe. You could look it up. That's why Russia said they had an open door, and also Hamas. We need to come together and work together in peace. There's no pointing fingers. I'm just telling you the facts of what's happened. We, in World War II, remember, brothers and sisters, we were the top country internationally, and we helped the East and West and helped them develop. And China the East came up very fast in 20 years because of the exchange of their manufacturing and their other items. And so they came up very fast. In the East and West, we helped for all these years since World War II. And we are not an imperialistic nation, but we're not a nation that is going to give our country away to third world country and be a socialistic, communistic nation. We're not that. We're a nation that's a capitalist nation that brings freedom to the people and people that want to move here legally through other countries. And that's what America's about. And it's the greatest country of being a mother of all nations, but it's not going to be a mother of all nations. And your legacy, we don't want our legacy to die, and it will not die. It will not die. The communist people, that is Kamala and Biden, are communist, elite communists. Please listen, brothers and sisters in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania. We need to come together in truth. It's common sense. It's common sense. We need to come together in truth. This is very serious. Our universities in shambles. What do they do? When they, when in the lockdowns, they didn't have good negotiations, and also 5 big companies. Look it up. 5 big companies that are destroyed and dead because of China has stole all their information, their computer information, their technology, and they integrate with China business. We need to come together, bring back our manufacturing and small, large businesses. We need to mine our oil well and develop the nuclear energy and also the fusion. We need to build those containers to develop the oil, the liquid oil that's needed across the world that we could sell. We need to correct our foods and make sure we have not synthetic foods. We need to correct our pharmaceutical laws and regulations, and also ask for, just like JF Kennedy said, we need to make changes with that. about the pharmaceuticals, and I've been begging that for being, because I'm experienced with medicine for over 20 years in all different ways as a physician assistant, but all different ways, and also working in community to see what people need. And also my studies in political economy and political philosophy. So I've been begging about the pharmaceutical companies for years. I wrote a book on electrotherapy in the Gerson's method, and with Dr. Beck's protocol from USC, and they killed him because he showed that we could use alternative medicine to help our country, and because the pharmacies are killing the people. They're made out of chemicals. Many of the pharmaceutical pills kill the people, or they weaken their organs over time. And Rockefeller, unfortunately, he owned the pharmaceutical companies at the time when he was president. So he just allowed that type of medicine, not alternative medicines. We need to come together in truth. There's many things we need to do, but under Biden and Kamala, our country is at the edge of doom. But we know that we could lift it up very fast because of technology and information systems. And number one, in the hands of God's power and strength, as George Washington said, that in God we trust. And in Jesus Christ, he used that word, in Jesus Christ, because we are a country that believes in Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ is a lover of all humanity. He came to the woman at the well, correct? And he served her first. He didn't serve the Pharisees or the people that were the powerful political people. He wanted to come and help the people that needed help, that were used as victims, and that were regular people that wanted to live in freedom. And that's what our country is about, to live in freedom and justice for all, and to live in proper freedom and justice for all with precepts of truth. And that's why we need to come to truth with the immigrants, and come to truth that Kamala and Biden showed through their acts of these 3.5 years, that they cannot take care of America, and our country has never been in a worse situation, safety, economically, socially, and internationally. We've never been in a worse situation. But when President Trump was in, we were in the best in safety, we were in the best in economy, we're the best in culturally, we were in the best internationally, we're the best in safety, not only in our borders, but also internationally in war. And plus, we were growing our country to develop our businesses, large and small, and also develop our school systems and our universities. Thank you so much. Vote President Trump, and our lovely J.D. Vance, and his lovely team, Mr. Fink with BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard, and also Bongio, also our lovely Elon Musk. All these people want to help America. They want to help America. And his beautiful family, they've given their life. I know how that is. Day after day, you want to protect America. His sons, his beautiful sons, and his beautiful daughter-in-law, Laura, and our most magnificent queen, that is so loving and kind and wants to do the best for America, our First Lady, Melania. God bless her, and God bless the family. God bless the family of America. We are a family of America. We need to save America. Vote President Trump and J.D. Vance. God bless you. Bye-bye. This is Lisa Luciar, the news of Lisa Luciar, and please support my work. I've worked for many years to bring the messages of truth to save America and help America in God's love, in God's justice, in God's wisdom. Thank you so much. Please look me up, lisaluciar.com and arisetogodstruth.com. Please donate to help our work. God bless you. Bye-bye. To help our work to save America.